I can swim. Just can't walk or dress myself. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Salute, and welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now, so we're getting deeper in with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. And salute to the good sister, Sakina Collins, for the cash out. People showing love already on the broadcast. Thank you very much, my good sister. And speaking of that, I had a little bit of running around to do for those that are new to the channel. I have to tell you about a tradition that I have over here. Anybody that contributes to the broadcast, usually on my community tab, I list the contributors, whether you contribute by Cash App or PayPal, on the community tab, just as a way to show appreciation to the people that support the platform. And yesterday had a lot of running around to do, so I haven't forgotten about you all. I'm gonna post that after the broadcast, and I'll combine the people that contributed yesterday, okay, because a lot of people contributed after the stream, and anybody that contributes here tonight, okay, because we actually appreciate the people that support this platform, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, as you all probably have saw, we gonna have to deal with Mr. Kevin Gates, okay, Kevin the Coontastic Gates, as I call him, okay. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a lesson tonight about what happens when losers are always trying to critique people that they wish they were in the shoes of. We're gonna teach a thorough lesson that both black men and black women, or anybody listening, are gonna be able to learn tonight, okay? So let me give my disclaimer too, okay? Because some of you guys are new here. You probably don't know how we do things. Everybody in the chat will tell you. Listen, this is not the place that worships celebrities, okay? If you are a person that worships celebrities, oh, your feelings are gonna get hurt over here. You may not ever want to come back to this platform again, because I tell you, I'm not the guy that pays attention to subscribers or getting clicks, views, and none of that. No, this is a classroom over here. We teach, okay? And we don't live vicariously through celebrities at all. They get turned into hamburgers over here, okay? This is a home of turning sacred cows into hamburgers, all right? So just giving my disclaimer. Before we get down to brass tacks, can everyone hear me loud and clear? I know I had some audio issues yesterday, okay? So want to make sure before we get to cooking, you know, y'all give me a black fist or a thumbs up in the chat room if you can hear your brother loud and clear, because we going in tonight, okay? This is a lesson that's long overdue, and the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it again so that both young black men and black women, or anybody of any age, can learn from this, okay? Because this is a bad problem right here. You know, I've been meaning to speak on this, but it was other things going on, but we're going to deal with it tonight, doggone it. Oh, yeah? So I'll give you, okay, good. Everybody can hear me loud and clear? I'm assuming everybody can, okay? Let's see. Sister Ms. L said, she said, maybe it's because I'm older, wiser, sister, wiser. But I don't know who Kevin Gates is. I thought he was a football player. Oh, you gonna learn tonight. And you gonna laugh too. Hey, oh, Mr. Sam probably know who he is, but yeah, we about to clown him over here tonight, you know, because I mean, and see, I'm glad that sister said that, because family, let me tell you something. She brought up actually a good point that I'm gonna go into in further detail later on tonight. If you are a person, black man or black woman, that is highly accomplished, well respected by your people, people know you from all age generations. So that says a lot about Mr. Kevin Coontastic Gates, okay? Because see, think about it. I'm going to prove my point. You have people that are so exceptionally respected at what they do in any genre or entertainment or sports you want to pick, okay? To the point that a person may not be a fan of that particular genre or sport or whatever, music or anything, or even if we talk academia, but if they're really respected and good at what they do, people know them the world over for their accomplishments. So just keep that in mind, because we gonna revisit that when we get to dealing with tonight's subject matter. But before we do, let me mind my manners, okay? In case you're new to this channel, we also have a tradition of greeting those of you that we see starting out with the stream here. So let me make sure that I can see everybody. I see Honey O over here. Not sure if that's a brother or a sister, but welcome. Good sister Mrs. L, salute to her. She's in that kitchen cooking. Oh, Mr. Sam about to be eating good. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, save the chat room some plates, sister. B1 said dollars in here. Let's see, Sakina Collins. I see you. Kevin Blackwell. Kenny T in the building. I see you, sister. Diesel Mike on the highways and byways. I see you, good brother. Derek Parker, Project Leroy is in here. Let's see, Charles Gibson, my fellow retired Navy brother. Priscilla Taylor is in here. And Theater of the Absurd. And salute and welcome to all of you and anyone else that'll be joining us in attendance here tonight. I rarely ever see it. A lot of y'all been reminding me I need to do this more often because I rarely ever do it. But yeah, go ahead and hit that like button, okay, and share this thing out. Hopefully, a lot of times, you know, if you catch my broadcast, for those that are new, there's usually about a 5-minute, 30-second intro because I'm aware that people have lives, they have things to do. So if you want to catch the content over here, you always have at least a good 5 minutes and 30 seconds before we really get to cooking, okay? And use that time if you're over here to share the broadcast, okay? Look, y'all have to remind me to do stuff like that because I be so invested in, trying to get the message across over here, I forget to do it, okay? And for the new people that are over here, all right? Because I know that a lot of people, everybody's talking about all types of fatigue. A lot of people are fatigued that, when you come to a platform, people, hit the cash out, hit the PayPal, hit this, hit that. I'm like, you will, look, my audience will tell you, you will never hear me say that. You know why? Because if the information is relevant and important to you, you don't have to poke somebody and ask them to contribute to something, okay? Fact of business, for the longest time where my day was at, y'all know I didn't even, have nothing like that. My audience had to twist my arm to do that. So, just letting y'all know, you won't hear, that annoying, hit the cash out, hit the cash out. It kind of reminds me, because I know it's annoying to me. Y'all can speak for yourself. But that kind of reminds me, y'all ever, how many of y'all have in the summertime had like a little gnat in your, it just won't go away no matter how much you swat away. And that's annoying, man. You know what I'm saying? Because look, before we get into tonight, so I got to go on a rant. Y'all bear with me. In my opinion, this is just my humble opinion, I kind of think that's like a telemarketer or somebody coming trying to sell you something. And if you interested, hey, you be like, I know where it's at. I'll go get it. You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all hate telemarketers, huh? People like that. That's annoying as hell, man. So, one thing I try not to do is annoy my audience with that. A lot of people need to understand that if your content is worthwhile or with whatever you're doing, people will support, okay? People will support as long as you're genuine, as long as you are a person that adds value or they find information useful. You don't have to be beating people across the head like that. A lot of times, in my opinion, I think that runs potential subscribers off, with people doing that. I'm not going to call no names. Y'all probably done seen the platforms that do that, but just letting y'all know this isn't one of them, okay? So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and get straight to brass tacks. And I got to say something here, too, before we do. All the mayonnaise people are hot with me, y'all. They're hot with me. And a lot of y'all probably know why if you, paid attention to my latest YouTube shorts. Because, see, my audience knows that I can be the emperor of petty, okay? And I had to restrain myself because I started to do so much more with that latest short that I put up. How many of y'all, let me ask you something before we get started. How many of y'all saw the latest YouTube short that I put up, okay? Because, I had to give the Alabaster people a warning since they were just so upset with me about our good brother, Dr. Bill Cosby, telling the truth. And I warned them, you don't want me to bring that Children of the Chalk series back over here on the main channel because it's still on Patreon. I'm going to put some entries in that pretty soon, too. But if I bring that back to them, I might start doing that, too. Because, I hadn't seen no more comments from them yet, but I had to throw a shot across the bow to let them understand, look, you really don't want me to go there. I'm going to tell you right now, watch this. Audience, bit of audience participation. For the mayonnaise people that are watching from the clouds right now, is it true or false that out of all the media personalities that you listen to, that I'm probably, if not the most petty, I'm definitely top 5? Hey, you can say whatever you want. You agree or disagree. They need to see this because, see, some of these mayonnaise people are new over here, but I'm going to ask the question again. Audience, from what you've observed from me over the years, is my petty top 5, if not number 1, when it comes to getting on these Alabaster people? Y'all know, hey, boy, I lock on like a pit bull and I shake. I shake and then I do a crocodile roll. I kind of like to twist pieces off. that deluded, demented ego of theirs. Okay, so I'm just letting you know, man. Y'all better look in this audience, man. They trying to tell you. Keep on. So, you know, I did that YouTube short was just a sample because look, the thing about me, once I get, you know, to enjoying something, man, I have no filter or restraint, okay? There are people that have to be like, brother, don't do that. Y'all don't understand. So, man, these people, you might want to stay in your lane, all right? Anyway, they've been warned, so we're going to leave it alone. Let's go ahead and get started because, see, we got to check something out here with Mr. Kevin the Coon Gates. And, you know, I'm going to be stopping to break it down where need be, and then we're going to definitely get into why this dude is a famous failure. Now, a lot of y'all probably think that's an oxymoron, but it's not. Oh, no, I'm going to prove that here tonight, okay? And see, we're also going to debunk something about success that a lot of people in our community are misconstrued on tonight, okay? So that's it. We're going to go ahead and jump into it.
You can't judge me off a scale that we not the same thing.
Come on.
I'm carbon based.
Come on.
This shit different than ammonia based. It's genetic.
So I'm going to go ahead and get started going in on him right now. Did y'all hear this idiot? Because I'm going to call him what he is. He's a moron, okay? This ain't ammonia based. They're carbon based. How many of y'all remember In Living Color? And for the younger people, I know that before your time, Google In Living Color, Oswald Bates, okay? That's what he sound like. That's exactly what this dude is. Because see, look, we just got to go ahead and go here. Boy, I'm going to make the little hood rats mad tonight. A lot of the women like this goofball because let's go here. And he half Puerto Rican. Okay, I don't know what the other half is, but hell, we're going to put him into the class, okay? He definitely is stupid to be damned. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that out of the way. But a lot of hood rat class of women like him because he's light skinned and they consider him attractive. Hey, whatever floats your boat, but he's stupid to be damned. Okay, he is. All right. He thought that was this ain't ammonia based, they're carbon based. Motherfucker, spell both of them words, you stupid bastard, you. And see, I'm gonna show you why I'm finna go in on because in case you haven't seen this clip here. This type of cooning right here, man, I don't think that a lot of those tilters like him have gotten the memo that we're in a different era now. All the cooning is getting checked. It should have been done a long time ago because you all have been very disrespectful and taken for granted the sacrifices of our ancestors that paved the way for you to be here. Literally, everything that you standing on in this country is because foundational Black American freedmen built this, okay? Every right that you have to participate in is because of our ancestors, okay, and elders that sacrificed for you to have civil rights and everything that you couldn't do at home and wouldn't do at home because you fled from home, okay? See, we gonna make sure, and definitely people like me, I don't sugarcoat with it. When you start popping out like a Candace Owens, because we say to the class, we're not talking about all continental Africans, Caribbeans, etc., okay? But when you pop out like a Candace Owens, if we give the business to the Jesse Lee Petersons and Larry Elders amongst our own lineage, you damn sure gonna get the business. Okay? You damn sure gonna get it as a foreigner. You cannot poke your chest out when you flee from somewhere else. I've said it for years. If you have to leave a bad situation, that's understandable, and I get that. But when you get to someone else's house, wipe your feet and be humble. Don't come over here with your chest poked out because, see, the dumbest of them think that white folks want them over here. Nah, they didn't want nobody over here but their own people, okay? We had to sacrifice with blood and sometimes our lives for you to get these rights that you have, okay? So that's why I stand on that, and many of us, when you start being disrespectful. But I'm going to let this goofy continue here because, see, I'm going to tell you why I fought the host of the podcast, okay, that he's on right here. You do a moron of either gender no favor when you sit there entertaining their bullshit without giving them intelligent pushback or saying, hey, brother or sister, that makes no sense what you just said, okay? They just sit there, wow, ooh, as if they said something profound and deep. But then again, you know, maybe I'm giving the host of this podcast that he's on too much credit, because see, sometimes they might be actual idiots themselves. It's said oftentimes that water seeks its own level, and you're gonna see exactly what I mean by that as we continue here. Let's get back to it.
Medically different. You can say what you want to, but what work for you don't work for me.
I've loved that. I live by that. I feel that.
So somebody that can't go in the sun without sunscreen, man, your opinion don't even matter to me, man. God don't even fuck with you that much, bitch.
Now, it sounds like he cooking right here, right? Sound like it. But see, here's a lesson that definitely young people need to understand of our lineage. Sounds like he's cooking, but he's going to pivot very quickly. And damn it, how you sitting in a chair? Y'all know me, man. Some of us was raised in families that taught us to value our appearance, but this is a big overgrown man child, okay? He's grown body-wise, but his mind is the equivalent of a 3 to 5 year old. Boy, how you gonna be sitting in a chair with high waters that high we can see your socks and your damn calves and shit? Looking like a damn fool sitting up here, man. I'm sorry, man. Some of us had families that when we stepped outside the house, we were taught that, hey, when you go outside this house, you represent this family name the right way. All right, so yeah, I'm old school like that, but it sounds like he's cooking right there. So see, the point I want to make to particularly young people, you have to be very close and attentive to the purpose and the reason that somebody's saying something, because you have to understand that when they start talking good, and this is what we taught y'all over here in New Black Media Spaces during the election, just because the Democrats or either party start out talking like us, they sound good. Always look for that pivot, and then you should be like, nope, hold on, bridge too far. I was with you till you went here, okay? See, the mark of maturity, and this is definitely paramount to our generations in the future, all of us, even me, okay? Everyone in this chat room, this applies to all of us. Just because we like somebody, just because we, value certain things that they've done in the community, just because, they might be completely legit, it doesn't mean that people are infallible. It doesn't mean that people are not to be challenged on certain ideologies that sound suspect, or if we clearly see something that's dead wrong. Let me tell you why, especially for the men of any demographic, but we talking about our own community, okay? It's incumbent upon us as men to halt that in its tracks, because we are the primary protectors and providers of our people. Okay, we're in the leadership role overall. So we definitely are out front of the gates, literally and figuratively. Anything coming in that's harmful, we supposed to block that. It's supposed to have to get past us first. Secondary, the sisters in the community, okay? It's important that they recognize that as well, because, hey, we are the front line of defense between our children, our elderly, our infirm. We have to think in terms of working together, each doing our part to protect the community. And that means against harmful ideology like cooning and buffooning as well, okay? That harms the community. We do a great disservice to our people when we overlook, something egregious just because we happen to agree with somebody or get along with them. That's never wise, and that's irresponsible. And anybody doing that, you are not fit for any type of leadership role, okay? You're not. So, unfortunately, we have some people in our community that haven't graduated to what I just said, all right? In these times, it's a critical hour in our history. We have to make sure that when we see things that we know are not right, we have to go ahead and check that. So I'm going to let you see where he's about to go, because a lot of people heard that like, ooh, he cooking. No. Here he comes. Let's get back to it.
Your opinion don't matter to me.
Come on now.
Like, I'm just saying, like, people be caring about being liked. I don't give a fuck who don't like me. Like, when they talk to Black Lives Matter, I say, man, I don't really care for niggas like that. I don't care to be around them. Because there's always some bullshit. Well, I'm a...
Yep, there's that pivot I was talking about. I don't really care for Black Lives Matter like that. Now, over here, we didn't support Black Lives Matter, the organization. Yes, the phraseology or the ideology itself, definitely, if you are a black person, you should be for that. The organization, no, okay? That was a tether-led LGBTQ organization, the original Black Lives Matter. And shout out and rest in power to my good brother Darren Seals. That started out the right way with real foundational Black American freedmen grassroots activists trying to get justice produced out there on the streets. But what happened, it got infiltrated. And this is where paying attention to your history, your recent history as a young person, will aid you in the present and the future, because you're supposed to learn from that. Just like if any of you are playing sports, when you're trying to become better, you study your, not only your wins, it's easy to win. That's the easy part. You study your losses as well, okay? You have to look at recent and past history as a playbook to study so that you know what to improve upon and what not to repeat so that you don't take the same losses, okay? That's what an intelligent people does, all right? So now when you hear this goofy talking about, I don't really care for niggas like that, I don't really be around them. Okay, tell the boy, first of all, if you had said this statement and you made distinction between the, you know, the underbelly of our society, the degenerates and criminals, which most black people aren't and don't want to be around, I could give you a pass. The way he's talking, he's speaking in terms of a whole, okay? See, you got to understand the correlation between the tether language and the white supremacists. They parrot what they hear their white supremacists masters and puppet masters are saying. That's what they do. Because, you know, even though he could never pass for white, a lot of them, especially when they get in these different industries, these different sports, they think that the way to success is to show, hey, I'm just as anti-black as you are. Okay, you can even use me to go at my own people as long as you give me something, okay? I just want you to understand how serious that is. That's not a harmless crime. That's not a matter of opinion. You better understand the reason why I'm framing it this way. Let me give it to you in a real tangible way for the young people that might listen to this. You need to understand that people with this type of mindset that have this internal vitriol for people that look like them or their own people, even though he's not ours. These would be the people that back in the day, if we was on a plantation, they would go and tell master. They'll be right there in the field with you, you know what I'm saying? And as soon as you get ready to enact whatever escape plan you had, see, boss, I told you, they is right over there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm being facetious with you, but you better understand that that's a serious thing. These Sam Bozos and Sam Betts, they are not harmless, okay? And the only way that you can really have a successful movement of empowerment is if you identify them and you ostracize them from the community. And that's exactly what delineation is now. It's in full swing. It is the new way under the sun, whether you like it or not. And that's where we're going to be. OK, so I'm just letting you know what the issue is with him and why nobody's going to give this type of cooning a pass. He's got more to tell us, though. Let's let it continue.
Go back to the black community. Hey, good luck. Good luck. Why you ain't done now? Because you don't want that kind of pressure that's going to get applied.
Right. Man.
Because we kill each other all day, talk about each other behind each other back, in the family get together and we gossiping in the kitchen. Nigga, you just seen me outside and went in the kitchen and decided to turn into a bitch ass nigga when you went in the kitchen. Yeah, gay.
Let me pause this buffoon right here, this wonder buffoon, okay? We got to give him his proper title. He's a wonder buffoon. Let me pause this wonder buffoon right here. See, this is what you can tell, how you can tell, rather, that a male, notice I did not say man because that's an earned honorable title just like women. This is how you can tell a male didn't have a father in his life, or if his father was, he wouldn't wear two dead flies put together. Let me tell you something, man. A man, okay, that understands who he is and has built himself up by way of his own intellect and his own work ethic. We control who we're around and who we're not around, okay? We control who we're around and who we're not around. Because we have the foresight and discernment to say, okay, yeah, this is a group of people right here that I know that we don't have the same ideology or worldview or where we're going in life. I can separate myself from that. What we don't do is blanket all of our people as if negativity is the face of our people. So you have to understand, with a bootlicking, buck dancing, no pride or integrity having Sam Bozo like this clown right here. And we're going to get into why he's such a failure. Oh, that's coming. I'm going to slow roast this bastard. The reason why they talk like that is because really they're parroting things that they think is going to protect them from white supremacy because they're afraid of it. Remember Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, our queen mother, may she rest in power, always taught us, and if you haven't read the ISIS papers, if you're a young person, please go and get that. That is a book over here that we always try to put people up on, okay? It will definitely open your eyes to a great deal. And I thank sisters like Dr. Francis Chris Wilson for leaving such a powerful body and useful body of work behind. The elder would be the elder, rest in power to him as well, Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. We say doctor out of respect. So Dr. Francis Chris Wilson always taught us when it comes to fear, it's a normal thing, but where you go wrong at is trying to deny that fear, acknowledge it for what it is, and then you start coming up with solutions and ways to deal with it. Now, when you deny that fear, start being in denial, that's where you start seeing your sellout class come from. See, that defeated mentality comes from a place of fear, okay? And when you don't know your roots or who you are and you don't stand for nothing, you sound like a Kevin Gates. You notice no other group of people speak about their people from the standpoint that the worst of their society is the face of it. Only these buck dancing Sambos, okay? And I just broke down the reasons why, because they know that's what white supremacists want to hear, and they think that's going to make them the same pet coon, okay? And it's not. It never has, and it never will, all right? So that's why he's saying that, all right? I just wanted to be clear. We're going to let him finish, though, because we're going to break all this BS now.
He really think. Come on, man. That's all we do. When you look at my comments, the people saying negative shit be niggas. The Black Lives Matter movement.
Okay, so Captain Coon Kevin. Here's the thing. When you say the people be saying all the negative shit be niggas, so is it the people that are criticizing your coonish behavior and your buffoonish behavior? Because, you know, if you don't know anybody, you would see that as negative. Because let's be clear, and this is going to sound cruel to some people, but you know, I really don't care about sparing feelings over here. Family, one of the things that is paramount to the progress of any people, and I'm primarily talking about ours, you better learn how to recognize a lost cause. I'm going to say it again. You better learn how to recognize a lost cause. Everybody can't be helped. I know that you might want to be altruistic. You might want to exercise some type of magnanimity towards people, you know, but some people are just throwaways. It ain't nothing you can do with them, and that's okay. Here's why I'm telling you that. You better recognize who those people are so that you don't go down with them trying to save the most worthless and the trash amongst us. It's okay to say some things have to go. Right now, how many of you would keep rotten food in your refrigerator? It's paying off and smelling to be damned, huh? How many of you would do that? Is there anybody in my chat room that would do that? Would that be a wise or healthy thing to do to keep something rotten in with your good food or healthy food? How many of you that if a doctor told you, hey, you've been diagnosed with, you know, heaven forbid, XYZ, some type of cancer, he said, hey, look, you know, the only way that we can get you back healthy, but we got to remove this from you. How many of y'all would be like, oh, no, I don't want to get that removed. Just leave it right there. It's cool. I'm telling you that because the coons and the Sambos amongst us, no matter whether they're FBA or non-FBA, they are the equivalent of cancer amongst any movement of empowerment. And it has to be okay to say, nope, we don't want nothing to do with that. You have to go, because if you don't deal with your traitors first, everything you try to do is going to be sabotaged. You understand? Everything. You better think about this from a strategic warfare mindset. If you're trying to secure a victory against an opposing force and you got moles and double agents all behind enemy lines and you don't do anything about that, every campaign that you go on is going to fail. You understand? So what I'm proposing, and it's up to each and every one of you listening to decide whether this is something that you find beneficial. I'm proposing that once these Negroes and Negresses come out here and do this, we start letting them know that, hey, you belong to them. You're their people now. You're their people. You belong to them. You can't come back over here. There's no place for you. You said you don't want to be around niggles. Okay, cool. No problem. You don't have to be around niggles. You better make sure that them good white folks whose asses you kissing, because make no mistake, he's saying this trying to tap dance for white folks. You better make sure that them good white folks whose asses you kissing got a good old place for you out there. I mean, you better make sure they got a doghouse, a cage, or wherever they're going to put you if you're going to be a little pet coon, because once you talk like this, we are in an era now where we consider this treason. It doesn't matter about how famous you are amongst the most responsible of us, okay? And notice I made that distinction. The most responsible of us don't give a damn how famous you are. how well liked you are, what music you got we rock with. Nope. You start talking like a Sambo, we're going to treat you like that. You're going to go back over there with Mouse and them, and you better make sure that they have your back. Salute to the good brother, Cyberdyne 100 for the cash out. Thank you very much, my good man. Hey, brother, you know what? I got to add you to the Rich Mile for that, brother. Hold on. Let me go ahead and let you join Team Smurf over here, good brother. Yeah, man. Hey, welcome to the Rent Squad, brother. Welcome. But we have to make sure that these goofy sound bozos and sound bits understand that there's a penalty for undermining black society. And see, I know it seems like, oh, man, he going hard in the paint. He over-exaggerating, ain't that big a deal. Nah, hold on for a second. Let me state my case and prove to you why it's a greater deal than you might think, for those that think that way. Ask yourself this. Everybody in my chat room, you can sound off how you please over here, okay? Let me ask this question. When you look at Black America, no matter what age you are, okay? You look at Black America right now. When you see it, do you think that our people are where we're supposed to be? Or do you think that our people can go so much further if we wasn't sabotaged and undermined? Just a question. No matter what age you are, I want to see what the chat room responds to that, because see, I'm gonna thread a needle here once I see a couple of answers in the chat room, huh? I'm gonna ask the question again for those just coming in. No matter what age you are, when you look at the state of Black America right now, do you think we're right where we're supposed to be, that we hit our ceiling, or do you think we can be so much better and so much greater with our condition in society as a people? Just a question. I want to see what everybody's going to say, because see, I'm going to show you where I'm going with this. All right. Sometimes you have to really slow things down and pose a question of thought to people to make them really say, you know what? I never thought about it that way. And see, I'm going to tell you who I primarily want to affect with that type of rhetoric. Okay. And get them to think. Our young people. Why? Because they are the future. The young people are the future of any society, okay? I'm looking in the chat room here. Sister C. Terry says the latter, okay? ATLN _ 007 says we will be living like the Jetsons without racism. Hey, brother, right on. Sandra Evans, we can get better. Okay, Project Leroy say we have room to grow and be much better. Okay, EJ say we be beyond this galaxy if they leave us alone. Hey, can't argue. Okay. Sister Shakira Carlin 2 Star says we could be so much better and further. Mr. Sam says definitely further along and so much better as a people. Okay, so what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, is most of you all tend to agree with me, and people are free to disagree over here. But here's why I asked the question. Ask yourself what the penalty should be for anyone willingly. We're not talking about naive people that have not learned, because everybody at one point had to come into certain knowledge that we share over here in these different new black media spaces. But what should be the penalty for a man or woman of age that knows full well they're undermining our people? From the Boule Martins to the Kevin the Coon Gates on the screen here. I don't care whether you Democrat, Republican, whatever you call yourself. When it's clear that you are undermining our people for profit, what should be the penalty? Should you be allowed to come back amongst us and receive the same type of respect and fellowship that you had before we found that you ought to be a coon or a Sambo? Or should we ostracize you by saying, okay, cool, you grown, you can do whatever you want to do. But with any choice that you make, you have to be willing to bear the brunt of the consequences. Oh, yes, you must. And the brunt of those consequences should start with this. When we recognize that you've done that and we know that you know what you're doing, you get no more support from anything that you're doing from us. Don't care about your album, your movie, not going to any of your sports games. Nope. Hey, go over there and get your support from the people that you love so much more than your own people. I think this is only fair. Think about it. Every brother or sister in here, you work hard for what you have. You have to work twice as hard to have half as much in many different situations and scenarios here in America as a black person, okay? Why should you give what you work so hard that you've earned to people that have such disdain for you as to address you with rhetoric like Kevin the Coon Gates? I want to be around new niggas. I don't really care for niggas. Okay, cool. No problem, player. we don't really care for coons and sambos. So I guess that makes us even. All I'm calling for is it's time for us to balance the scales, because black people, no matter who you are in my chat room or listen to this on the playback, you better start doing something with yourself that was taught to me at a young age. You better start looking in that mirror and say, damn it, I deserve better. And I'm talking about as far as the system of white supremacy treats us. Our people have died and fought in every war this country has ever had. We're the only group of people on American soil as a collective that have never turned against the United States government. All these immigrants over here to come from these countries, they've gone after this government. You stop and think about that. See, sometimes existing in the skin that we're in as black people, we stop and forget to look ourselves in the mirror and really have an understanding of who we are. This is why history and understanding how it correlates to present day is so very important. You understand? When you know where you come from and how that got, especially your actual family, to where you are today, the sacrifice they went through, you're firmly rooted in your identity, and it's something that you're going to protect and force other people to respect. Yes, I said force. You damn right. You're not supposed to tolerate any disrespect on our homeland, our soil here. Okay? So that's where I'm going with that. And like I said, shout out to the non-LBA brothers and sisters that do have respect for our people. I ain't got nothing but love and respect for you. That's because that's what you show us. So this isn't a place where I be like, oh man, fuck all them Africans and Caribbeans, etc. No. If you cool with our people, you come in good faith and respect, I see you as another brother or sister in the community. We not from the same lineage, but hey, I rock with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it should be. Look, I'm going to tell you what I wish, and I say wish because I'm speaking in terms of reality because I know that this isn't the case. I wish that when it came to something like the concept of Pan-Africanism, when you think about that on its face, it sounds like a good idea. Here's the problem. Everybody has to pull their weight. It can't be one-sided. So now what I would like to see in a perfect world, if every black person or melanated person around the world embraced that and said, okay, cool. We see them folks don't like us like that. They've shown us throughout history. We've seen what they've done to us in our different nations. Now it's black first globally. And if you touch one of us anywhere, you fight us all everywhere. That's what I would love to see. Can you imagine, even if you just take out the physical part of it, you know what I'm saying? As far as like actually having to go ahead and butt heads with these people. Let's just envision what that would look like economically. Do you know how strong that would make melanated people on this planet? But see, again, you can't force other people to buy into that if that's not what they don't want to do. Okay, so for the people that's like, man, y'all, you should be Pan-African. Hey, man, it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango, all right? We can't be the only one doing the brunt of the work. Everybody got to bring something to the table and pull their own weight. So until we can see that, as foundational Black American freedmen, we have to support focusing on our own movement. Doesn't mean that we don't wish the other brothers and sisters in the diaspora well. We do, but we got to put ourselves first, okay? Because you can't help anybody unless you help yourself first. You have to have your own affairs in order before you can help other people. And then, even if we got everything that we need to have taken care of over here situated, we're going to have to come to the table and say, okay, from now on, if we're going to have any type of international fellowship, everybody equally pulls their own weight. It's not going to be one-sided anymore. That doesn't work. That's not fair. That's not how you do good business, okay? And that's not something that you should want to pass down to the future generations. You should want to, everybody, I'm talking about all melanated people everywhere, you should want to pass down the type of mindset that's based off integrity. Hey, you do your part, I do my part. Let's protect what we build together. You see what I'm saying? So until we get to that point, we just got to focus on our own issues. We wish y'all the best, you know, like our good brother Ibrahim Traore, but, you know, we got our own problems at home, you know, and hopefully if that brother gets the situation stable, it would be a game changer if he reached and extended the olive branch to foundational Black American freedmen over here. You know, I hope he would have his security and stuff in place because, yeah, they wouldn't like that. They definitely wouldn't like that. That's a broadcast for another day. But we're going to let Kevin the Coon Gates continue here to regale us with his fantastic tales of, you know, how he sees the world here.
They got mad at me. They said, I told them, hey, listen, I wasn't made for everybody to like.
Mm-hmm. That's real.
I told them, you know what's worse than a nigga? They was like, what? Another one?
Ooh, damn.
Yeah. We kill each other all day. the song "I fuck your bitch."
You know, I hate when Negroes like him start talking about we kill the order. And anytime you hear somebody talking about order instead of other, the word is other, not other. See, you damn near make me say it. See how stupidity is contagious? Hey, boy, y'all look, it's other, Kevin, not order. Okay, udder is something on a damn cow. You moron, you. Boy, y'all just don't understand. I hate stupidity. It's my upbringing. We look, my folks didn't play that, okay? We weren't allowed to be stupid coming up, all right? But like I said, you know, he sits here and he looks at all the shortcomings of Black America, looking at the tiny percentage, less than 10% of us commit crimes, okay? The greater majority of Black Americans go to work every day and are law-abiding citizens. But you're going to cherry pick that small percentage based off white supremacist propaganda and make that the face of our people? Hell no. No other group does that. These tethers don't do that to any other group of people. They only do that towards us. Now, when you start to look at the facts about these other groups and who commits the most crime, it's actually them. See, I'm gonna drop a bomb on you that I want y'all to do your research on. The other groups, the white adjacents, okay? The ones that are allowed to be classified as white over here. And definitely them folks commit more crime than us. You know why? Because they're not criminalized the same way. Think about it. For anybody that, that ain't true. We do commit black on black crime. First of all, to the morons that say that crime is contingent upon proximity, okay? You commit crime where you live. So there's no special black on black crime. You don't, look, this is why they was mad about that short that I put up with Dr. Bill Cosby saying that. Huh? They don't like when it's told that way because they never characterize crime by color unless it's us. In the age of information, it makes no sense for anybody with common sense to continue to dwell in the ignorance of propaganda when you have information at the tip of your fingers that you can discuss with other like minds and start to say, you know what? This is the trick they've been using all along to subjugate the minds of our people. Huh? You conquer the minds of a people, hey, the body soon shall follow. You understand? So when you hear Kevin the Coon Gates talking like that, you don't see him saying that about any other group that's less criminalized than us that gets to get away with things because, see, look at the Asian massage parlors all over the place. You think them people, the law enforcement don't know about that? Look at how they bust one and then another one pop back up right across the street or on the same side of town. Now, if a black person tried that, man, they're going to arrest you and your whole family and give everybody football numbers, huh? Don't get me started about these other groups and their criminality that are classified as white. But see, you have to make black people the scapegoat in the face of everything. See, watch this. I'm going to show you a further example of propaganda. I covered this months ago here, man, not just myself, many others. When you look at the whole, blacks DEI hires blacks DEI, and then you look at the actual numbers, not percentages and per capita, when you look at the whole numbers, and again, I'm going to tell y'all to go and get the book, How to Lie with Statistics. Every black household needs that book on its shelf so you can understand how these white supremacists try to manipulate those damn percentages. This is why they always run around talking about per capita. No, whole numbers tell the truth. When you look at the data for DEI, man, we were less than, 7-8% of that? The greater majority of that was white women, white LGBTQ people, and then every other group ahead of us, okay? Black people wasn't the majority of no damn DEI hires. But if you the type of person that you have surface level thinking and you think that everything that comes out of some pink thin earth wearing lips is gospel truth, then you'll be sitting up here like a Kevin the Coon Gates. That's what happens, okay? I hate to quote the cliche saying, but a mind is a terrible thing to waste. I value mine, and I hope that each and every one of you listening to me values yours as well. This is why you have to be careful what you feed your mind. Sometimes you need to cleanse your mind of certain things, okay? Let me tell you something. For the young people that might be listening to this that don't have such information yet, no problem. That's no fault at all. Because you still have time to try to learn things, especially with how we are in this society and our condition here is artificially created. Why do you think that they had to have a system of Jim Crow and black codes, and even in present day, they basically use the same system on paper, they just don't call it what it is? All right, that's artificially manufactured when you see black people in a condition like this, all right? Because think about it, to go to show you my statement is true, if what I said was false, why? If we would just, like the white supremacists say, we just incompetent, our IQ so low, we just doomed to fail. Why do you think that we built whole towns when the white supremacists wasn't messing with us? The Black Wall Streets, of which there were many across the nation, but let's just start with Tulsa. When we are left alone and without sabotage, we not only rise to the standard of what society is supposed to be, we excel and innovate society. I'm gonna have to start. You know what? After this broadcast, I may drop that list from Patreon. I might make an exception and drop that list of well over 200 and some black inventors, Foundation of Black American Freedmen inventors, and show how we've innovated and revolutionized this country. Because not, like I said, not only do we rise to the occasion, we expand and excel and innovate. Okay, if they stripped away all the inventions that our lineage came up with, man, we'll be back in the damn Stone Ages, man. Y'all better understand where we come from. That's not me bragging. This is historical fact. Okay. So this is why we have the respect that we have for our lineage. All right. You have to understand that in this country, these people have to keep an artificial haze above your head for a couple of reasons. With the grown adults, they have to keep that haze over your head because you are of age where you can actually act upon things and build, you know what I'm saying? And you know, build wealth and what have you, and strategize and put things together where our people, we can actually employ our own people instead of having to rely on others, feed our own people, etc. But even more so than dealing with the propaganda that keeps the minds of an adult under control, the sweet spot is indoctrinating your children. Let me tell you why every black parent under the sound of my voice, whether you FBA or non-FBA, needs to pay attention to what I'm about to say next, so that you don't get a Kevin Gates. If propaganda can poison the mind of your child and create a mental block to tell them that there's only so far they can go because their IQs are so low, or all your people do is commit crime, everything bad. Even though that greatness is internal, it will create a mental stumbling block to the point that if nobody corrects that, you will get a Kevin Gates. I'm going to be cruel and blunt because I'm over here to give my people the truth. You cannot lead anything worth a damn with a Kevin Gates at the helm. His counterpart will be a Christian Rock, or you know what? We're going to get to his counterpart. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get to, because I told you, yeah, I'm swinging below the belt tonight. He should have kept his mouth shut, okay? We going there tonight. I'm going to get to his counterpart because, see, yeah, we going to make this one stick. But you better understand that protect the minds of your babies. I would love to see for everybody that had the upbringing that I had, or at least as close to it as you can get. My mother and my father always made sure that our home was a place of learning, okay? Long before I went to school, I was able to read, write, count, you know what I'm saying? Had a firm understanding of things to the point that, you know, I was a pretty gifted child. And, you know, your home base, that should always be a center to cultivate the minds of your children, okay? You should always instill in them that, you know, there are no limits on what they can learn and achieve and become. And see, in these schools today, the little black boys and little black girls are treated horribly. You know, y'all seen the studies over the years and the stories we covered over here in these spaces about how they treat our black children. This is why, you know, reparations is essential so that we can build more of our own institutions and make sure our babies are educated without being racially targeted and traumatized, huh? See, it takes a coward to pick on a child, but see, you got to understand how fearful these cowardly white supremacists are, and their tether, you know what I'm saying, pets. They know that if they don't do that to little black boys and girls, they will surpass everything around them. That's just how much they fear the future of our people, to the point that they say, you know what? Nope, not even your kids are off limits. You understand? So we're going to do everything. Those of us with sense are going to do everything in our power to make sure we don't get another Kevin Gates. Let it continue.
I kill you, bust your head, you know, and then we talk about each other behind each other back. And then as soon as a white person kill one of us, y'all should have left him. Y'all should have let him live. Why?
See, this is what I don't like about this before. And again, he's talking about the small percentage of us that commit crimes. First of all, let's deal with that from a realistic standpoint, okay? Because see, I'm finna hurt the coons' feelings tonight. I'm gonna make it all make sense over here. We ain't in no echo chamber full of coons over here. When it comes to black people and crime, for the most part, everybody in here, especially the men and the women, you love your families, right? Every one of us, we love our families. So if some fool in the neighborhood comes and does something to threaten your family, try to break in your home or harm somebody, hey, before them folks get called, most of us are going to go ahead and handle that. We're like, oh, okay, I got something for that. Yeah, you'll be lucky if they get to you before we do, okay, as we should. We're supposed to protect our families. So that's a part of where they talk about the crime. If you're trying to protect and defend yourself from these degenerates, then the other part about the crime that they're not talking about is this, okay? When it comes to the blick on blick crime, that small percentage that gets into that, they commit that crime on each other. That don't have nothing to do with the average black person, so it's not fair to lump the black people that are law-abiding into that. That makes no sense to do that, Kevin the Coon Gates. Huh? See, we got to go here with this stuff and make it make sense. Then when it comes to, well, if the white folks did something to a black person, everybody go and protest and march. Listen, the reason that happens is because if our people wouldn't have got out there in 2020 when they murdered our brother George Floyd in first degree murder, not no second, if we wouldn't have got out there and did that, there would have been no justice produced. You damn right our people took to the streets when that happened. Our lives are valuable just like everybody else's. We're not supposed to be conditioned to accept our lives being unjustly taken like that. So yes, when people were out there protesting, because see, I'm gonna tell you something, Kevin. To be honest with you, you Sambos and white supremacists that keep talking about that was really something that you should have been, you should want people protesting, because I'm going to tell you something. When people stop talking, that's when people start doing. Let me make it clear for you. When people put the signs down and stop protesting and it's quiet and you still practicing your injustice, that's when it's revolution time. You better understand the words of Gil Scott Heron. The revolution will not be televised, even in this era. It won't be. It can happen just like that. Snap of a finger. So if you were smart, you would want people running around with signs and protesting. The reason why we don't do that, because here's the other half of that coon nonsense. The reason why we don't do that with black people is, hey, if somebody does something to a black person, they're immediately punished. They're immediately punished. Black people are not protected like Derek Chauvin and Daniel Penny and all the rest of these damn white supremacists that harm our people. They're not protected. So we don't have to go out and march and protest for that. Justice get served. So get served in that particular instance, okay? But see, when you got an idiot that is devoid of many of the characteristics from upbringing that I stated earlier, and he's sitting in front of fellow idiots that don't have the wherewithal or understanding about history and present day to correct him on anything, he sounds like he cooking. Big moron. Boy, let's let this idiot continue.
So we could kill him. That's all.
Damn. That's deep.
Be jumping up and down, howling, talking about that.
Did you hear that fool over there? Yeah, that deep. Yeah, that deep. Family, some of y'all probably gonna judge your brother for this, but many of you probably already know where I'm going. If you've been a long time subscriber to this channel, you know stupidity is something that I really am not forgiving of too much. I can give naivete a pass, especially when it's a younger person. Some degree older people, but pure full-blown stupidity, you're that deep. Really? How, bitch? Explain what was deep about what he just said. You know how embarrassing that is? Because it literally is. It chaps my ass to be around that. You understand? I don't run around here like I'm better than my own people. I'm not above my people. I'm of my people. But damn it, that coddling stupidity, that's something, man, that needs to go away. Okay? We can't afford that. Do you know how costly stupidity, willful stupidity is, huh? Again, making clear distinction between naivete and stupidity. Willful stupidity costs us greatly. It has over the centuries. Stupidity has cost us. This is not something that we should find cute, okay? Or I would have loved for them to have someone else in there that could have raised certain intelligent points and challenged certain things so that she wouldn't just be sitting there, wow, that deep. Really? And the buffoon sitting next to her isn't challenging them either, man. It's absolutely pathetic. Let's let it continue.
Black Lives Matter. Who do they matter to?
Ooh.
Even the songs you listen to, you ready to hear about a nigga talking about he gonna split a nigga shit? Cause I like that type of shit too now. I like to hear a nigga get their top popped in a song. I do. Being honest.
Yeah.
But I don't really too much like if I be around niggas, my antennas go up.
Okay. You heard what he just said, you know, talking about the music. Well, Mr. Kevin, I like that you said what you said there, buddy. Because, see, if you really gave a damn about that and he was speaking from a place of good faith, I want y'all to educate me, those of you that are familiar with Kevin Gates, okay? I want y'all to educate me, those of you that are familiar with Mr. Kevin Gates. Family, has anybody heard Kevin Gates speak out? And this, what I'm about to say next is going to shock the hell out of y'all. Have any of y'all heard Kevin Gates speak out against the majority white record executives that control what gets distributed? Has anybody heard him? And while I'm waiting on y'all to answer that question in the chat room, I'm finna make a statement now. A lot of y'all gonna, boy, y'all be like, I can't believe GBS said that as much as he go hard in the paint against that clown. But I have to give credit where credit is due. Damn it. As batshit crazy and as big of a buffoonish coon as he is, you know who I got to give credit for that is doing that? As batshit crazy and coonish as he is, Kanye West. Oh, that's bad when you letting Kanye make you look bad. A bipolar Sambo at least have sense enough to call that hypocrisy out. Now, I want to know, when has Kevin Gates done that? Huh? Can anybody point? Because look, I can be corrected. I don't know everything. Oh, I am far from omnipotent and all-knowing. If there's anybody in here, young or old, they can say, no, brother, hold on, wait a minute. He actually did call out the record labels and took a stand and tried to get other brothers and sisters together to, you know, take a stand against that. Let me know. Maybe I missed it because I haven't seen it, okay? So I'm asking in good faith. I honestly am. Is there anybody in here that can say, yep, you know, I saw him do it, man. I can point to you in. Go and look at this for yourself. Has he ever stood up against this, what he claimed to have a problem with? That he profits off of, by the way? Say what you will about Kanye the Coon. At least he did take a stand. I can respect that. When somebody has a conviction and they stand on it, even though I don't respect him, I can respect the actions of it. So what I'm saying is when you see people talking like him and making them statements like that, always look for the action. Because now, you know, he's not on the level of a Jay-Z or Diddler or, you know, even Kanye or what have you, but he got a couple of nickels to rub together. Famous failure that he is, and we gonna definitely rub in what I mean by famous failure. We breaking this part down right now. We gonna get into that famous failure in shortly here, but we don't see him or others that make them statements taking action. See, let me make sure I thread the needle for the younger people as well. Compare this to when you hear the white supremacists talking about Chicago, which is nowhere near the most violent city in America. Okay. You got to look to Memphis for that, okay? People don't just say stuff and don't keep up with the actual numbers of things, but you know how white supremacists are. They claim to have high IQs. I say they have high IQs because that's all they do is lie. Like my great-grandfather said, they little pink, thin earthworm lips are moving, they lying. Better quadruple and quintuple everything that they say and check it, okay? So now you compare that to the white supremacists always talking about Chicago. If you ask them this good faith question, okay, since you're so concerned about Chicago, what have you done or are doing to help the situation on the ground? And then you get crickets because that lets you know that they don't give a damn about what they're saying. It's just a talking point. Same thing with buffoons like this. And I want young people to remember that lesson. Let's let it continue.
You be feeling away.
No, it's just because of where I've been at. Yeah, it's because I grew up in them environments.
For sure. No, that makes sense. I get it. Yeah. Well, I will say this. Where it happened at the club? You at the club, a bunch of niggas.
Where I grew up.
This what it go down.
Where I grew up at?
Okay. Kevin, what about this also? What type of clubs are you going to? Because there are upscale establishments where black people go and none of those incidents happen because they have security, a dress code. And if anything does happen, it's handled before it gets out of hand. So what kind of club are you going to? Furthermore, beyond that, why your grown ass in a club at your age, especially for your supposed status? You should have been there, done that by the time you was a teenager, early 20s at the latest. Now, there's nothing wrong with going to a particular club to celebrate an occasion, but the point that I'm making is grown men that call themselves bosses, you really don't have time to spend in no club like that. Definitely not no hole in the wall like you talking about where all these problems happen. Yeah, I'm going there. I'm gonna pick his ass apart here tonight, cause see, this dude been cooning for a long time, and it's long overdue that I done this. Okay, so that's the question that I have for you. Why are you still hanging out in a club at that age? There's a time and a place for everything. Okay, and by the time we progress in our years, there's certain things we're supposed to leave behind. You're not supposed to have the same thought process that you had at 17 by the time that you're 27. You're not supposed to have the same thought process at 27 by the time you get 37, 47, etc., okay? An adult is supposed to be progressing if you don't suffer from a state of arrested development, sometimes by choice. An adult is supposed to be progressing in their knowledge and life experience. You're not supposed to stay stagnant. That's not a leader. You can't do anything with somebody that's stuck in a state of arrested development. I don't care what gender it is, man or woman. In fact, I'll take it a step further. If you are a person that what I just said applies to, you're actually detrimental to anything constructive that you come around. In fact, you will be destructive around constructive things. Your whole thought process won't even be able to grasp it. And see, I'm going to tell you what the painful part is that's going to hurt a lot of people listening to this that are a fan of Kevin the Coon Gates and his type. They know that it applies to them because when they're around constructive things, they feel out of place. They do. They feel like a fish out of water. They don't know what to do with themselves when they're around productive black men and black women where everybody's being positive, talking about things that empower the community. This is why, look, I'm going to tell you how you spot that. I want y'all to think how when, like my good brother Tariq Nasheed holds his egg spaces and other people, okay, when people are gathered together talking about constructive things, always look for the people that come in there trying to switch the subject to something non-constructive, something stupid. Completely change the topic. A lot of times, Brother Tariq check them for that. He be like, hey, man, if I'm talking about A, what you over here on B for? Unless it's something where he's like, hey, it's open mic, bring up whatever topic. But for the most part, you always watch people like that. And I'm going to tell you why. That, no matter what gender it is, that's a person that knows that they have nothing valuable to contribute when black people are gathered together talking about constructive things. So the only thing they can fall back to is buffoonery. Yeah, I told you this was gonna hurt. Oh boy, some of them new subscribers, they probably gonna get the hell on from over here tonight. Hey, you know me. I told y'all this thing many times. It was passed down in my family. Wisdom burns the ears of a fool. Okay, and that's another thing too. When anybody's talking wisdom or knowledge, a fool has to flee from that like a vampire from sunlight. Okay, you better understand what I'm telling you. Let it continue.
Shots waking up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, so why would I put myself in that situation? Anywhere I gotta be and have a gun, hey, I don't need to be there. God bless me.
Right.
Now,
I agree with that. Anywhere you feel like you have to have a gun to be there, you shouldn't be there, okay? Now, here's the thing. Let's speak realistically. In the real world, there's no perfect safe place. Now, I'm not being obtuse because I get what he's saying as far as going in certain environments. So I will give him credit there. Yeah, if it's someplace that's just so bad, has a reputation for stuff going on, and you feel like you got to be strapped up to go there, hey, man, look, you ain't lose nothing over there. What you going over there for? I'm going to say it again. Places like that, if you didn't lose nothing over there, what you going over there for? I'll give him credit there. However, realistically, some can go down any place at any time. We never know when the next white supremacist mass shooter is going to, wake up because, the white girls aren't feeling him no more and they trying to ride soul pole and he wants to go take it out on people. Look at what happened with Peyton Gendron, with our brothers and sisters up there in New York and Buffalo. Okay. So I'm just being realistic. There's no perfect safe place. And if you're like me, I am a big proponent of the Second Amendment. I always will be. And I advocate that over here to y'all as well. Okay, protect yourself at all times out here. You your first line of defense. Don't wait on nobody else. You shouldn't have to call nobody. It's up to you. You have a God-given right to protect your life. Okay, but I agree with him there. If it's something that is counterproductive, a bunch of knuckleheads, hey, ask yourself, is it really worth it going over there? Let's let them continue.
You don't feel like, if you don't feel like God bless me, that's cool. Mm-hmm. But look at my situation and your situation. God bless me, homie. 100%. I ain't stupid. I know what's.
Ooh, Kevin. Oh, and salute to Eugene, man. Salute to Eugene for the cash out. Thank you. I got to stop old Kevin though. Oh, Kevin. You said, look at your situation, look at this. Oh, we about to look at your situation in just a second here. Oh, yes, we are. But I have to disagree, Kevin. You're very stupid. You're a very stupid man. Yes, you are. What I'm going to say, I'm going to prove, okay? Because a lot of people, you just hating. No, he don't have nothing I want. And trust me, we're about to prove that, okay? We're going to get into that. But Kevin, you say you're blessed, okay? Let's be clear on this blessing stuff. There's two entities that can bless you. You can be blessed by the Most High, or you can be blessed by Satan. Your life, it does not show that you've been blessed by the Most High, no matter what you might be naive enough to think. Because Kevin, let me tell you what your true value is, and those like you, okay? Because this is bigger than you. You just the face of what I'm using to teach this lesson here tonight. You're very valuable to a system of white supremacy. You're barely literate. You engage in non-constructive behavior. You walk around in the uniform of a melanated or black man, but you operate with the mentality of a child. You are very useful to white supremacy. See, let me get even deeper with this. All of you should be familiar with the movie Terminator, right? Oh, yeah, I'm going to thread a needle. I told you, I'm not sparing anything over tonight. This needs to be said. I'm not going to be polite because there's a lot of other people that would address this and kind of keep the kid gloves on. Not me. When you think about the movie Terminator, remember the main adversary wasn't the Terminator itself. It was the factory or the computer, Cyberdyne, that produced the Terminators, okay? Now, you think about the system of white supremacy as Cyberdyne, okay? You think about that. Now, ask yourself this. If they could mass produce the likes of a Kevin Gates, a Glorilla, those types, don't you know that they will find that beneficial? So you better understand the entertainment industry in particular. That's exactly what that is, okay? Skynet. Skynet. A degenerate version of Skynet producing a bunch of little degenerate Terminators out here to terminate any hopes of black empowerment that we have. Yeah, I went there with it. They love a Kevin Gates. He's no threat to their system. You a perfect do boy. Huh? See, let me really go here with it. Do you think, family, in my chat room, do you think they'd rather have 100 Kevin Gates or 100 Fred Hamptons out here? Oh, yeah, we going there now. You know they had to get rid of our brother Fred Hampton when he was still in his 20s. Rest in power to him, because we're going to carry on that work in his name. See, you better understand that young black FBA man and woman and young non-FBA men and women listening to me. You better understand that when you acquire knowledge at a ripe young age and they see that you understand how their system works and they can't get you tricked out the streets and put in their modern day plantation, which is a prison, when they see that you're going to take the knowledge that you acquire and teach others and start building with it, now you become a threat to the system. You know why? Because when you apply knowledge to the point it becomes wisdom, it disconnects people from their system. You better understand that there's a reason why many of us say that desegregation was the worst thing that ever happened to us. Why? Because when we had segregation, we kept our black economy intact. When they desegregated things, instead of our people keeping their businesses and still patronizing that so that we would have a foundation and an economic base, our economy got folded into theirs. And hence, this is why we're the largest consumer group in America today. And they want to keep it that way. You understand? I want the young brothers and sisters over here, especially in your 20s. And I'm proud, if I'm reaching you, I'm going to give you a homework assignment. Yes, I know, homework. Look up on YouTube, how to sell to the Negro. If you don't know what that is, trust me, look it up. I'm not going to even tell you. Look up how to sell to the Negro and then think about the words that I'm saying. Because see, if a society can keep you in the mindset of a perpetual consumer and not a producer, oh, they got you. You feed them. You never going to be where they are if they're the producer and you a perpetual consumer. Dr. John Henry Clark himself said, hey, we shouldn't even wear underwear we don't produce or make. Anything that we have a fondness for, we should be able to make it or own stock in it. You understand? See, the way I'm talking right now, if they have a generation of young people that had that Fred Hampton mindset, you would never see a Kevin Gates take off. A Kevin Gates will be a laughing stock in the community. As he should be, a clown. We look, and I honestly do think that there's a generation of young people coming up where that's what's going to happen. It's going to become something to be shameful to be a damn buffoon in society that doesn't produce anything for your people. I honestly believe that. Some of y'all might say, brother, yeah, that's, that probably ain't going to happen no time soon. Don't underestimate these young people. You know why I say that? Because, look, I work with many. One of the things that I noticed that is you're a respectable brother or sister in the community and you honest and you are who you say you are. Young people seek out your advice. You give them solid advice. They apply it. They see it works. They have a high regard and respect for you when you that type of black person. When they can see you putting into your community, when they know that, hey, what you say is what you mean. The young people that I see that are eager for knowledge, when you give it to them, man, they take it and run with it. They can't wait to run with it. All they looking for is somebody to show them how to do what they don't know. You understand? And see, for me, it's my pleasure to help them because, hey, I'm not going to always be here. They're the future. I tell them that all the time. One of the things that makes me feel great as a foundational Black American freedman man is picking up a young brother or sister that I recognize has a talent that they don't pretty much see, yet giving them the courage and the confidence to walk forward and excel in that talent. Sometimes that's all they need is some uplifting encouragement and a way forward. Show them which way to go. From there, they got it, man. In this era of technology, if they're focused, man, there's nothing they can't do. So, like I said, if they could mass produce the Kevin Gates or a Fred Hampton, man, y'all know, man, they're like, oh, we can't have no more Fred Hamptons out here. No. Let's get this Kevin Gates model out here and promote it. Let's let it continue. So now, I've given you the main part of dealing with Mr. Kevin Gates' Cooney statements, but now we're going to get into the part where I prove to you that there is a such thing as a famous failure. Okay, now you know me, I'm the acronym king, so I came up with a good acronym that y'all can feel free to use. You see anybody else using this, they got it from over here. Fail. Foolish ass idiotic loser. Okay, yeah. Oh, we gonna prove how he's a foolish ass idiotic loser. Yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are indeed. See, when you're a failure, and you see other men in particular, because this applies to the ladies as well, but when you see other men in particular that they become what you wish you were, even if you acquire wealth or resources, Yeah, you can have that. That's good. We have to have that to live in this world. You got to have some type of monetary, resources to be able to get by. But I'm going to tell you what one thing that money can't buy: respect. Remember, I've told y'all for years that there's 3 main currencies in this world. Starting from least to greatest, you have money, you have respect, and you have information. Now, why do I say money is the least of all the currencies, even though you can do a lot with it? Reason why I say it's the least is because you can lose money, but you can get that back if you have the right information. And information is the most powerful component of power, because you have to have information to maintain and attain the other 2, respect and money. You understand me? I've said this for years, man. I don't want y'all to forget that. So now, Kevin Gates got a little bit of paper, but he ain't got nowhere near as much paper as the person he's about to be criticizing. And he definitely doesn't have his respect. You understand? See, for the young women in your society, in your social hierarchy, whoever's considered the most attractive, the prettiest, or what have you, that holds standing amongst you, okay? For men, what holds standing for us in replacement of looks, because we're not running around trying to see who's the prettiest pretty boy. That's laughable. Oh, wait a minute. If you're in the Billy Porter Club, okay, that's different. You run around with fairy dust, you know what I'm saying? Wherever you walk, it sprinkles of fairy dust behind. We're not talking about that. We're talking about heterosexual men. So let me clarify, okay? Amongst heterosexual, straight-laced black men, the equivalent of what's pretty for women is respect for us. Many of us would rather have respect more than money. We can get money. We can't live without our respect. We have to have it, okay? That's paramount for a man, all right? Now, anybody that falls outside of the term man, I can't help you, but we talking about men, all right? So we're going to get into an example of why Kevin Gates is envious of the person that he's speaking on here. Oh, yeah, I told you, we got to hit below the belt with these facts tonight. Let's go ahead and get into
it. This how the conversation came up. We were just looking at, like, couples and people in the league. And we was talking about how LeBron do the little handshake with Savannah.
Right.
And then I was like, maybe I know this shit that people don't notice. But I'm like, they was like talking about, what have you...
You know what? I got to pause it before I let this moron continue. Family, is it just me, or does this boy kind of sound like a light-skinned version of Forrest Gump? You know, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you might get, Jenna. Anybody in my chat room think he sound like a Forrest Gump? A light-skinned Forrest Gump? Could he be Forrest Gump, bastard, illegitimate child? Did Forrest Gump have a taste for some chocolate? You know, the box of chocolates he always spoke about? Maybe a box of chocolates was a double entendre. Maybe Forrest actually was talking about black women when he meant box of chocolate. I'm just saying. I seen it. Y'all have to say it too. Let's let this fool continue.
You had LeBron money. I'm like, man, he one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to trade places with him. And they was like, why not? Why you wouldn't want to play? I say, because I don't like the way Savannah look at LeBron. I like the way them white women look at LeBron.
Project Leroy, you said I sound like Uncle Ruckus. No relation. Well, I'm going to give you my Uncle Ruckus impersonation right now. This Kevin Gates, you's a smart Negro, boy. You know that the white woman is the greatest thing that God put on this earth. Now, GBS would call him a funky alabaster. He's got plenty of YouTube shorts going in on the greatest creation God ever put on this planet right here, the white woman. Yes, that's right. You should play it the white one. Get your ass out of Uncle Ruckus. Listen, look. Oh, I'm the master of impersonations. Y'all know I got a million of them, man. But listen, man, we gonna crack jokes on this clown because this is what he is. Kevin Gates is a clown. Listen, Kevin, first of all, buddy, you got tattoos in your face, okay? A man with tattoos in his face really isn't in a position to critique another man of substance that has proven himself to be competent in whatever field of ability he chooses to excel in. That's first and foremost. Secondly, you critiquing LeBron, talking about the handshake that him and Savannah do. You talking about you like the way the white women look at LeBron. See, what you're doing when you critique this brother, you hating. Because you wish you had a Savannah James, and deep down this loser, okay, this failed, okay, foolish ass, idiotic loser. Remember the acronym, feel free to use it if you like. This fail right here is jealous because he knows that he could never get the attention of a Savannah James. Let's just go here for a minute. I want y'all to really understand what's got a bug in his ass with his critiques here. Family, do you really think that a woman the caliber of Savannah James would give this dumb bastard the time of day? This badly literate idiot? Huh? Let's just picture that in your see, because sometimes you have to picture these things in your head. Imagine him walking up to Savannah James. Salute to the good brother Project Leroy for the cash, y'all. Thank you very much, my good man. Imagine him walking up to Savannah James or any woman. You know what? We gonna do this. We gonna run this down because I really want to make this point stick. Let's put Savannah James to the side, even though that's who we mentioned. Picture him walking up to a Felicia Rashad in her prime. Yes, D. Claire Huxtable, Felicia Rashad. A woman that caliber. I got another one for you. If she wasn't with Denzel, do you think he could pull a Paulette Washington? Yeah, we naming some black women of stature here. Come on, let's go here. I want y'all I'm finna shatter that illusion. I told you we turned sacred cows into hamburgers over here tonight. This is gonna be the one that puts the nail in this idiot's coffin and anybody like him, okay? Imagine him trying to walk up if she was single and actually spit some game at Angela Bassett. Woo, Angela. Oh my God. Boy, let me tell you something, man. That black woman right there, boy, woo-wee. Y'all just don't understand. Boy, I love some Angela. Oh, yeah. Look, yeah, see, man, if I had a way to scheme and get her away from who she's with, I'm going to tell y'all right now, boy, I will have to enact that plan. Angela, the truth Bassett. But I digress. Do you think that he could pull any of the caliber of those black women, those sisters that are decent, that actually stand for something, they carry themselves like respectable black women? You think somebody like him could pull that? Because see, I really want you to understand what his real beef is. See, you better understand that people, they don't hate down, they hate up. They don't hate down, they hate up. He's never in his life, I know it, have ever had any woman the caliber of those women that I just named. I know he hadn't. He ain't come close to ever having it, and he never will. Because let's just go here. Let's just entertain the asinine idea that he could get one. Okay, let's go here. What would you do if you did pull her, huh? You would be just like a dog chasing a damn car. If you did catch it, you wouldn't know what the hell to do with it. Huh? They walk out in public, upstanding, sophisticated, articulate. You walk out in public, the equivalent of a damn child. See, in other words, the term being equally yoked, that's where it would apply. Because even if they was interested in him, I can see the conversation now. They'll be like, okay, Kevin, okay, now we going out in public. I'm gonna need you to remember the 3 words I taught you to say. And beyond your 3 words, you don't say nothing so you don't embarrass me. You understand? That's the kind of conversation a woman like that will have to have with him. Because if he open his mouth beyond 3 chosen words that you will have to recite and rehearse with his stupid ass to make sure that he remembers those 3 words, the 4th word is going to be embarrassing. Okay? Oh, yeah, I told you. We going here tonight. We going here tonight. Let's let it continue.
Like when soon as he walk out there, they just be like, oh, they be dicked out. But it's like I noticed when he go do the handshake with the main player on his team, which is that, it's like,
you know what? See, because this is the thing when I do these broadcasts, man. Sometimes I just see stuff, and if I see it, as Deanne Warwick said, that's what friends are for. I have to share it with y'all. Don't this boy look like a retarded Roblox character? Don't he? He kind of he looked like that. And look, let me tell you what else he reminded me of. This kind of took it back to my childhood. How many of y'all remember Gumby? Yeah, see, you young people ain't gonna know nothing about this without Googling, okay? But for all the people that are Gen Xers and olders, how many of y'all remember the little stop motion cartoon Gumby? Y'all remember that? Remember them little red villains, the blockheads that used to chase Gumby around? Don't Kevin Gates look like one of them? A high yellow blockhead. Because he is a blockhead, okay? Yeah, I'm just saying, look, man, I saw it, y'all got to see it too. Oh, trust me though, we ain't done with him by sight, though. Let's let this moron continue.
You act like I'm bothering you, bitch. Like, I'm the greatest player in the world, one of them. Like top 5, top 10, I'm one of them.
Okay, now see, here's the thing though, Kevin. And I want all young black men, especially the men listening, okay, because this really applies to you. I want all young black men listening to pay attention to the flaw that I'm about to point out with his logic. This was taught to me by my grandfathers, my father, my uncles. Don't you ever get so fixated on another man's situation that you neglect your own. Out of Kevin, the dumbass Gates' mouth, he just said that, in his opinion, LeBron is one of the top 5 greatest players ever. Arguably true, whether you like him or not. You know, we'll see. Time is going to tell. But if that's what you think of him, Kevin, let's look at your situation. Would anybody put you in top 5 greatest rappers of all time? Because, see, sometimes when we get so caught up on focusing on another man's situation, we neglect the progress of our own. In other words, if you're the type of man that does that, you will never reach your full potential. It's okay to look at other brothers and be inspired. It's okay to give praise and props to other brothers out here doing good things. But don't ever get so enamored and focused and fixated on another man's situation that you neglect your own, especially if that's coming from a place of jealousy. I posit to you this: the moment that any person, especially a man, starts operating from a concept or mindset of jealousy, everything you have is going to fail. You're not going to be focused on doing what you look. That right there, man, that's a pitfall, man. There's no reason to be jealous of someone else unless you are a failure and you know it. So you got to understand something. There's nothing wrong with trying and failing in life. That's how we get most of our lessons. Some things you learn by experience. But what matters is, are you going to get up, continue going, or go back to the drawing board and figure out what you need to do different and get busy on your purpose? Or are you the type of person that you know deep down, no matter how you lie to the public, no matter what you say in front of other people, when you're alone by yourself and you have to look at yourself, you're alone with your thoughts and you know you're a failure, that's when you have to operate from a place of jealousy, because you don't have anything in you capable of accomplishing anything worth a damn. You don't. So again, young black men, don't ever get caught up in analyzing and observing another man's situation from a point of jealousy that you neglect your own. See, I can talk this talk over here because I am a very accomplished man in my life. I don't brag. Those of you that met me personally, you know the truth of that statement. So I'm not doing it from a place of trying to brag or put anything in somebody's face. I'm saying I have qualification to speak on it. I was raised and taught that, hey, in life, even if you start entertaining jealousy because you're not where you want to be, my fathers and grandfathers always taught me this. They said, look, if you're not where you want to be, ain't nobody going to get you there but you. I'm going to say it again. If you're not where you want to be, I was taught, ain't nobody going to get you there but you. So now you got a choice to make. You can either get on up and get busy moving the way you want to be, or you can sit there and whine and cry about it and just stay where you at. I mean, it's a choice. 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 Now, if you make that choice, that's on you. You can't blame anybody else. So we're going to let this buffoon continue because, see, I ain't done yet. The ultimate embarrassment is coming up. Let's let it continue.
And I'm in the playoffs, and you act like the warden of the jail. Like you came here to police me. Like you ain't, like, you not dicked out like these white women just dicked out about me in here. Like, so, like.
But see, Kevin, what you don't understand is that's your perspective from what you see on the outside looking in. unless you're gonna tell us something, and this would be illegal, you don't know what they're doing at home. You don't know. Have you spent time with them 24/7 where you can see how she treat that man? You judging off of something you see in public. One snapshot of what their life is. You don't know what type of affection Savannah show LeBron when they in private. You don't know if anything that you see, because you got to think about the times we're in today. And I'm not saying LeBron has done this, but I'm just speaking from an intelligent point of view, because we're aware of the times we're in. You may not even be aware if you see something that don't look right. How you know that in these days and this time and age that people hadn't planned that? There's a lot of things that are a show for the public. You don't never know when somebody's fabricated something or orchestrated something to promote something they got coming up. We see it all the time today. Again, I'm not saying that LeBron has done that, but I'm just pointing it out that anybody critiquing, especially these celebrity couples or whatever, how do you know that's really what you're seeing? How do you not know that that's designed? In a lot of instances, they have done that to promote certain things they got going on. So, I'm just giving the other intelligent side of it. But, we're going to get back to this grand wise scholar here, because he has more to enunciate and get us up to speed on here. Let's let it continue.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, bro. Because when I've been around that dude just, his spirit so loving and giving, it hurt me.
Now here's the part where I must point out the Freudian slip here. And you're probably saying, well, GBS, what do you mean Freudian slip? Oh, I'm going to tell you right now. Let me point out what that Freudian slip is, okay? The Freudian slip is this. You said that you were around that man and you couldn't do it. First of all, we know you can't do it because you ain't going to never get a chance to pull a woman the caliber of a Savannah James, okay? Not if she's in her right frame of mind, you're not, okay? Number two, the Freudian slip is you admitted that it hurt you not because you think he's such a great guy. No, it hurt you because you like, damn. You sat there in silence, and all haters do this, okay? Sisters, you know this because y'all know how other women can be, okay? But brothers, young brothers, I want you to pay attention to this because this is just going to go well with you all the days of your life, okay? A hater will sit in silence and be in your presence and want your life and be envious of everything you have, and will sit here like this fool. He was sitting there silently thinking to himself when he was around LeBron, like, damn, look how respected he is. Man, look how his wife treated him. Man, look how his kids look up to him. Man, he got an intact, stable black family. Man, he gonna go down as one of the all-time greats in the NBA. I wish I knew what that felt like. That's the truth, Kevin. Won't you say that? Yeah, Kevin, I know you. See, man, look, these types of clowns like this, man, I know them. That's what he was thinking. That's why I said it was a Freudian slip. Y'all probably think I'm reaching. Oh, trust me, when I make a statement over here, I can back it up. We're going to get to that shortly here. Let's let it continue.
It hurt me to see that. Like, you done eject away from my partner, man. Don't do that, man. You dive on the floor behind that nigga, man. Dive on the floor behind him. But, I know a lot of people gonna hate what I just said, but I'm gonna be honest, like, if everybody like me, then I'm pussy, so we can do whatever you want to do about it. I'm gonna die about everything I say, so I love LeBron, and I hate that for him, bro. I hate that he gotta go through that. As a man, I hate that he gotta go through that, bro. In the playoffs. In the fucking playoffs. Your main player act like it just, you have a look on your face like, I could be doing more. Like, what more? Like, I loved you for you. Like, when I met you, you look like Lamar Odom. Like, babe, don't laugh at that. I'm trying to be funny, babe.
See that little goofy stuff right there? And see, y'all kind of seeing now why I said that this is a grown male with the mind of a child. Now, every brother in here, whether you married or not, know that when you start taking shots at another man's wife unwarranted, you know what come with that. Consequences, depending on what type of man you're dealing with. But the reason why he did that and made that little quip talking about Savannah look like a Lamar Odom when you met him, Now, what that is, don't let that fool you. That's also jealousy, okay? Because he would look, a hater will talk shit about what they know they can't have. You understand? Everybody's seen that. Oh man, I don't want that anyway. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You would have never mentioned it if you didn't want it. So that's what he's doing right here, trying to take shots at that man's wife. I'm like, all right now, yeah, man, you know, you fuck around. But LeBron would never, you know, throw his life away on this clown. You know what I'm saying? Because and that's another thing too, why use his words that this right here is pussy behavior. You know that LeBron is in a successful state where he can't really sock your ass when he see you, because that would cost him a lot more. That would help you more than, you know what I'm saying, helping him or getting the satisfaction. Yeah, sure, would give him satisfaction to sock your dumb ass, but it would cost him. So in a way, you trying to taunt that man like that, man, you know better than that. That make you a punk, man. Yeah, see, a lot of people probably never thought about it that way. But see, no, we ain't done with him, though. Let's let him continue.
Babe. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with you about that, you heard me? You
wait till you hear. We gonna get into who he talking to in case y'all haven't figured it out. Oh, boy, trust me, that's coming. We gonna have some fun with that.
You can laugh if you want to. You gotta walk out the room. You ain't interrupting my thing. You already interrupted it.
So now you hear this buffoon, okay? Critiquing LeBron James' life and, oh, Savannah should do this, Savannah should do that, she ain't appreciating him, blah, blah, blah. Well, the person that you heard off camera talking was this. The queen of thotty karate ultimate turbo thought, Brittany Renner. Yes, Brittany's stepdaddy season Renner, okay? Family, let me thread a needle. I told you we going here tonight. Family, you remember when this turbo thought started pretending, because both of them are pretending to be Muslim, by the way. Kevin Gates pretends to be a Muslim. She pretends to be a Muslim, okay? When she started pretending to be a Muslim, let me give you a bit of backstory for those of you that don't know this. She used to be one of the hoes that Kevin Gates used to fuck with. And, you know, hey, that ran its course. They separated. He stopped dealing with her. But you see where Brittany Renner is now. She realized that this fantasy of her getting another PJ Renner, because, you know, your baby father, that's the highest you going to go. You ain't going to really get past him. That's fat to life. Just look at that. That's often the way it is, no matter who you are. She know it ain't going to be another, PJ Washington coming. And now, since the men that she's interested in know that she's a run-through turbo thought and nobody wants that and nobody's stupid enough to wipe this up, you know what she does? She boomerangs back to the guy the only guy that she'll know that's stupid enough to entertain her, which is Kevin Gates. Now, I want you to see how diabolical your brother is on thread and needles here with this. The reason why she's pretending to be a Muslim is because that's what Kevin Gates is pretending to be. Oh, a lot of y'all probably didn't catch that, did you? Oh, it makes sense now, don't it? Huh? It makes sense now, don't it? You know? Yeah. See, you got to understand something. A turbo thought like her, whatever man that would deal with her last is interested in order to get back and spin the block back, she'll pretend to be interested in that. If Kevin Gates was running around talking about he was a Buddhist monk, that's what she would be doing, okay? And look, got to give you young men this words of wisdom, and you mothers in here, you should give this wisdom to your sons, okay? A thought, a super ultimate turbo thought's final form is that opposing to be a religious or conscious woman, okay? Yes, I'm going there. If you look at this idiot, you can see the stupidity in her face. With this. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, there's never a time when I've seen this woman, and I use the term loosely, ever look like she was intelligent. Ever. Do you know that you have won the ultimate sucker lottery if you go wipe this up? A lot of y'all, man, why you saying that? You being harsh. No, we're gonna enhance this. Take a good look at this picture, huh? Fellas, where you at? Who would be proud to call this your wife? Talk to me. Who in here be like, yo, GBS, you wrong. I'll take her. How many of you want to wipe this up, huh? Talk to me. My good brother FBA Strong says, can I gift you at your business email by PayPal? Can you? Yes, sir, my brother. Yeah, the PayPal is in the description. And Project Leroy, thank you. He just put the PayPal in the chat room, my good brother. Hey, I appreciate your support. I recognize you from Brother Tariq's chat room, man. Welcome over here, good brother. But, you know, fellas, how many of y'all want to wipe this up? Back to business. Let's go here since we hitting below the belt tonight. Let's just go here. Brothers in my chat room, my esteemed brothers, if we were all sitting around a table, okay? Sitting around chilling, discussing business that brothers discuss, okay? Might be talking about business deals, talking about what's going on with the family, trips, vacations you're going to take, okay? You know what I'm saying? All manner of constructive things. Then the conversation turns to what's going on with our significant others. And one of the Negroes at the table busts out with, yeah, y'all, you know, I just got married. So now, you know, most of us, brother, hey, man, congratulations, brother. Good. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, God bless your union. And then you tell us who it is, and this walks in. Now, brothers, let me tell you something right now. I love all of my brothers over here. I respect you. But I'm going to tell you right now, you will want to fight my black ass, because if you married this, I'm going to bust out laughing at the table. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to bust out laughing at the table. You going to want to fight, okay? I'm going to tell you that right now. You wife up a turbo thought in my presence? Man, look here. Oh, the joke's going to roll. Oh, the joke's going to roll. I mean, I normally am very respectful, but the jokes are going to roll, my brother. I'm going to tell you that right now. The jokes will roll, and there will be no stopping them, because, see, you got to understand something. Here's the thing, you know, and hey, it's okay, good brother Cyberdyne. Hey, we let it rock over here, man. You don't have to tell them out, man. Let them rock, brother. Hey, we let people express themselves over here. But here's the thing. If you married this would drop your respect in the eyes of the men at the table, especially those raised like me. Hey, even if I didn't say anything, I can't look at you the same, because I'm like, now, let me tell you how serious I take it. If we was about to do business together, I got to reconsider that, because that means you make poor judgment decisions. You married this? Oh, no, I can't sit down there and get no M's with you, buddy. Nah, I got to second guess that, because, see, you know, you might apply that logic to business decisions. We can't go out like that. So I'm just letting y'all know, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, you know, anybody wiping this up, you a clown, man. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations, you played yourself. Now, we know it's probably some thirsty simps that'll come back on, man, I love her, GBS. I can save her. Okay. And I guess you hadn't listened to the words of our good brother, Project Pat. He warned us about what you don't do with turbo thoughts, okay? But in case you know, you're like, man, I don't care what you say, man. I can save her, man. I know I can. Kevin Gates don't know what he's doing. I can save her. Okay, cool. Don't listen to me. I don't know nothing. I'm going to let her tell you. Check this out.
There was a video that I did in my car where I was talking about how I had sex with, was it 3 men in a day? Yes. And then I ended up getting a yeast infection. Yes. I came out pretty unscathed for just a yeast infection, right? Considering what I could have gotten. Right.
But did you think?
So I think about the ramifications of telling people that I had sex with multiple men. Yes, I don't care. It's the truth. If you don't see me as a potential dating person, then great, one less heart to break. Leave me alone, and I'm going to continue to live my truth.
But you do understand, Brittany, that's hard for a man. Look, like you said, public versus private. Now, if you and I having a conversation, and you're sitting here, we have a conversation, and you say, well, Shannon, I slept with this many men. Okay, that's one thing. That's between you and I. But to have that conversation, and then everybody, Sam, John, and everybody else knows it, that's a whole different ball game, Brittany.
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game, Shannon. I agree with you. You and your high orange purse that you wear. I agree. It is a whole different ball game. It is. It is a whole different ball game because see, you're not misreading what you see on your screen. This heifer slept with 3 men. 3 in 24 hours. Let me tell you right now, and I say this with all sincerity and salute to the good brother Jamal for the PayPal. Thank you very much, my good man. There are actual strippers that won't do that. I know y'all, some of y'all think stripper, y'all probably think they just be here with. No, look, they thought now, don't get me wrong, but 3 in 24 hours? See, let me go here. And, you know, since it's late night, I can speak the truth. Hopefully the little bambinos will be sleeping. They're not listening to this. But, damn it, true to the game, professional hoe ain't going to sleep with no 3 in 24 hours. You know why? Because her product is between her legs. And she knows she has to maintain and take care of that. This heifer here slept with 3 in 24 hours. Jesus Christ. 3. Damn. It's hoes on the blade that don't even do that. I'm just saying, man. And Kevin, this is what you holding up in the air while you critiquing LeBron James about Savannah. Now y'all see why I said what I said? Oh, but don't listen to me, though. I'm going to let her continue to tell her, you know, just think, hey, you know, I don't know nothing. You need to hear it from the thought's mouth. That's right, not the horse's mouth, the thought's mouth herself. Let's let it continue.
That's fine with me. I mean, I feel that.
But see, that's selfish because all you're thinking about is you. What about him? He has got to be with you.
He has got to be with me?
You know what I'm saying?
He has the privilege to be with me.
Okay.
Because you know how many women you've slept with?
Brett.
Do you hear this? We are in the era now where a turbo thought, not just a regular one, a turbo thought thinks that it's a privilege to be with it. What the hell has happened, ladies and gentlemen? Where are we at? A turbo thought with this much delusional self-esteem, delusions of grandeur. It's a privilege to be with you. Fellas, we're going to put this to bed right now because the truth need to be told. How many of you brothers in this chat room think it's a privilege to be with this turbo thought? What value does that bring? Think about it. You walk in a room with it. Everybody knows what it does, okay? What kind of respect or prestige is that going to gain? Look, let me make it easy for the young brothers, okay? If you walked into a room with Brittany Renner, you're going to be perceived as a fool and a laughingstock. If you walked into a room with Angela Bassett, now heads are going to turn and be like, oh, how did he get her? Wow. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, look, see, y'all know I said that the highest tier of womanhood that you can reach is a lady. A lady is classy. Angela Bassett, Felicia Rashad, Savannah James, okay? Come on now. Paulette Washington. When you carry yourself like a lady, you get, look, you don't get disrespected. You know why? Because one, people have respect for how a lady carries herself. And number two, they respect the man that you with. They'll be like, you know what? Yeah, man, that's so-and-so. Hey, man, y'all, she good. I'm going to look out for her if he's not around. You understand? That's the type of respect a lady gets. A turbo thought and a lady are nowhere near the same playing field, are going to be getting the same type of respect amongst men. Okay? I'm going to give you some homework to do. Next time y'all go through my YouTube shorts, find the one that I did about Mia Khalifa. Oh, that one gonna make you laugh. Oh boy, I ain't gonna even spoil it for you. It's over there, you'll see it. But this helper said, all right, it's a privilege for him to be with me. How? How is it a privilege? Look, I get, you know what? Maybe I'm being unfair. If we walked into a circus, okay, or a comedy club and we was trying to get laughs, okay, now you would be a benefit. I just thought about that. If we walking somewhere where, you know, I'm to be mocked or laughed at, okay, I'll bring your goofball ass with me. Like, yeah, this is what I'm holding up in there. Huh? Yeah. I get a standing ovation then, man. Let's let it continue.
Do you know how many women you slept with?
Yes
or no?
I'm doing the interview.
Do you know how many women you slept with?
Yes.
Double digits? Triple digits.
Oh, Lord.
Here we go, sitting back in this position.
Brittany.
Double or triple?
Brittany, I'm the interviewer. You at the interview.
I can't ask any questions?
You can ask questions.
Okay, so
See, let me go to show you what damage happens here when you have a terrible thought that wasn't raised with a father worth a damn. Brittany, as unfair as anybody listening may think this is, men and women are not just the same sexually in America or anywhere in the world. The higher a woman's body count is, the less she's respected. The higher a man's body count is, the more we're respected. Okay? I'm not saying that is right. I'm not saying that is fair. Definitely, there are diseases and pathogens out here you have to be aware of. So I'm aware of all of that. I'm just talking about the facts in the face of what it is in society today. Okay, that's the truth of the matter. Women prefer men with sexual prowess. Men, on the other hand, would like to get women with as low a body count as possible, within reason, okay? Now, you have the fanatics that are running around here. They think that they're supposed to just have virgins. I'm like, look, man, you got to be realistic, man. Look, yeah, nah. As long as the woman ain't sitting up here in Brittany Renner triple-digit territory, okay? Ultimate turbo thought territory. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? She ain't just out here thoughting and bopping everywhere. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So we speaking from, realistic terms, not that fanaticism. But, that's just the way it is. Men and women are not just the same when it comes to sex in society. And see, she's sitting there talking about that as if she's supposed to be on even footing with a man. In other words, like, okay, well, if you can do it, why can't I do it? First of all, let's get scientific about this. And you don't have to believe your brother. Just talk to your OBGYN. The more men that a woman sleeps with, that throw your pH balance off, okay? Yeah, don't get mad at me. That's biological science talking. You wasn't meant for you to be hopping and bopping on multiple dicks like that, okay? Just call it what it is. You got some people argue with that. I'm like, hey, don't argue with me. Go take that to your OYBGN and see what they tell you. He or she tells you, okay? Go ask them. You know what I'm saying? That lets you know that it wasn't meant for you to be doing that, all right? But yeah, she's sitting there talking to Shannon as if they on even footing. You see why she got a head full of bad wiring. And hey, Kevin, that's who you holding up in the air, ain't it? Huh? Let it continue.
When you have your podcast, invite me on and you and I'll have this conversation, okay? Now, back to our originally normal scheduled program. You do understand that a man pride his woman to know, look, I don't have any problem. 3 bodies, 4 bodies, 5 bodies, 10 bodies. That what you did before me, long as I'm pretty lenient because I've kind of, lawyers, doctors, exotic dancers, yeah. So you love what you love what you love.
Wow.
But it's a high bar to hurdle if she makes things that she's done.
So I had to play that conversation. As you know, Mr. Orange, loud orange purse wearing Shannon Sharp has his own problems there, chasing snow bunnies. But we had to refresh everybody about that conversation that Goofy Turbo Thought had. Bottom line, Kevin Gates, you are a failure, buddy. The smiley that I have right up here, that's your life, buddy. Everybody's laughing at you because if you look, let's just really make this stick as we get ready to wrap this up tonight. If you had LeBron James and Savannah James as a couple walk into any establishment, and you had Kevin Gates and Brittany Renner walk into any establishment, which couple you think is going to get the most respect in that room, huh? Here's the killing part about it, Kevin. Even amongst people that idolize you, they would get more respect. Your situation is chaotic. You created a broken home. You ain't with your original wife that you had your kids from, okay, Drika. Then you go and wife up a turbo thought that ain't worth 2 dead flies put together with an outrageous body count. She probably rival Superhead if she hadn't passed her. She doesn't know anything about being a wife or a mother, and you just a walking ball of dysfunction. Fact of business, they should create a damn trophy of Kevin Gates and Brittany Renner and call it the most dysfunctional in society award. Because the two of them together ain't gonna build a damn thing. But a hard time for somebody. So family, I read the clown his rights. I went where we needed to go. And it had to be said because see, let me show you what this goofball did before we wrap this up. When he was making all them statements, he went courtside trying to troll LeBron, sitting here with this turbo thigh. See, just because you put lipstick on a pig doesn't mean it's anything other than a pig. She's wrapped all up in a cosplay uniform of a Muslim sister. Okay, and she better quit that cosplaying because she go around the real deal, boy. They don't play that shit about disrespecting their religion. But you went courtside to try to taunt this man. I want y'all to watch this goofiness. Yeah, you see that? Ultimate loser. I told you, he's a fail, okay? Y'all see the acronym early in the broadcast. Look, bottom line, brothers, don't ever be that. And sisters, don't raise your sons to be that. Fathers, don't raise your boys to be that. Sometimes in life, we have to be grateful for these particular failures, whether they're men or women, so that we have examples to point to our children and say, see that? That's the lowest in society that you can get. You don't want to be that. So you have to use them to teach lessons. Be like, yeah, this is the bottom right here. You don't want to go there. We're going to raise you to be better than that. Okay? So I made the point here tonight. We're going to be cooking on Patreon coming up. On the 13th, we're going to do our Sinners review. Finally, okay, everybody should have had a chance to see it by now, whether you saw it in theaters or streaming, okay? So we're going to break that down. Like I said, after that, I'll leave it up to y'all if y'all want to hold the X space on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I held my tongue because everybody like, man, brother, don't get your take on it yet, man. We ain't seen it. Okay, by now you should have seen it, okay? So just look out for that on Patreon on the 13th, all right? Salute to everybody contributing to the broadcast. Remember, we're a great and mighty people. And last but not least, let jealousy be the furthest thing from your mind because jealousy will always hinder you in accomplishing whatever purpose or goal that you set out to accomplish. You will never make progress if you go through life operating from a mindset of jealousy. Salute to you, Black first, and I will see you all in future content.